Okay, so today we're going to talk about hooks in React. So I'm going to start with a simple app as usual. And now I want to create a stateful component. Let me zoom this so you can see it. A bit less, like this. Okay, so you're going to help me. I want to create a component to count how many clicks I do into a button. And for that, I need state. So we are going to create a stateful component. So how do I start? Do you know how to create a stateful? So? What do?
So it's the class.
A class, yes.
How do you name it?
So we will call it fast finger. So fast finger extends React.component. Okay. Now, Jay, do you know how to initialize a state? No worries. Then Vicky can help you. So constructor. Now we have to invoke it. It's a function. So not invoke it. Sorry, we are defining it. So super. And now this dot state equals. Okay, so we want to count clicks, so we can say count, yes. And we're going to start by 0. So now, what else? I want to render something, right? So what do I have to type now? Okay, render. Return. And now I want to have, I'll create a div, not a fragment. So div, oops, sorry. So now I said I wanted to count how many clicks in a button. So I need to render a button. Okay. And let's say click. Okay, let's see what is being rendered now. Oops, it's not being rendered. Why? Do you know?
Because we forgot to write export.
Well, we are not going to do import exports to make it simple, but we need to use it on the app. So we need to. So we need to write fast finger here. Okay. And now it should display a button. Yeah, here it is. But this button does nothing. So let me zoom it, sorry. Okay. So how can I make that button work, do something? So there was an event called onClick. Curly braces. Parentheses. And then what, sorry? The arrow?
Just to prepare the syntax.
Okay, to prepare the syntax, okay.
So we have to write inside.
So we have to, we
we
need to create a function. So this function is going to be, I don't know, add clicks or something like that. Add clicks, parentheses, and curly braces. And
or this,
how do I update the state?
this looks like
This dot set state. Very well. Not equals.
sorry, yes.
So like this, and then an object, and we want to set count to to count plus one. Like this. Will it work like this?
We have to import it in the add clicks on the after
Add clicks like this.
parentheses.
Parentheses to invoke it. Very well.
Can we try first and then others?
Sorry,
Can we try first?
but we are seeing already that it's not compiling, right?
Okay.
So count is not defined. Why? Can you guess why? So because count doesn't exist. So it's this dot state dot count. Sorry, like this here. This dot state dot count. And now it's compiling.
This is the state of the
Okay. So now we check and we click, but we can't see anything. So
you have to put yes, you have to put maybe H1.
H1, okay. So H1
Right number.
and what? Sorry,
Numbers.
numbers.
Or the,
Numbers like this
yes,
and
the dots.
dots, colon,
Yeah, curly braces.
curly braces,
This dot state. Dot
count
of
like this.
active.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, very well. So now if we click,
Why if it looks let me go back.
yes,
So it takes automatically this dot state dot count, and right midwife dot count plus one. It just takes this dot state dot count.
where? Here?
Yeah, no, I understand that. That's fine.
So what's the question? Sorry.
So because on the top of the right this dot state dot count plus one, we don't need to write the whole thing, just write this dot state dot count because it already takes itself.
Yeah, because when you update the state, you are setting the new value of count to be the previous one, that is this dot state dot count plus one.
Yeah, okay.
Then yeah, so yeah, like this. Okay, so this is using a class, but we had also another type of components that were stateless components that historically weren't able to have state. But since the last year, since February of last year, we can use something called hooks, and then we can. So let's create another component. So function. Let's call it fast finger function. Parentheses. What else?
Yeah, basics.
Curly braces.
But do we want to make it now?
No,
No.
not
Okay, then return.
return.
Parentheses.
Yeah, parentheses,
Yeah, and then just the div.
and then the same thing as here.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's delete this dot add clicks doesn't exist here, and this dot state dot count also, and yeah, okay, for now. So now we need somewhere to start the count. So let's create a variable. Let count equals to 0, and a function to update the count. So function how did we call it? Add clicks. Return, no, not return. We want to update the count, so count,
Something with user?
sorry?
Is it something with the user?
No, later on. So count, and now count equals to count plus 1, right? Like this. So this should work. This is JavaScript. So now we pass the add clicks here, like this, and count here. Yeah. Okay. And now will this work? So what does the warning say? What do the warning
It
say?
says fast food, but we have to
So we have to
import first of all that inside the app.
put it here. So
Yeah.
fast finger function, like this new component. And now let's see. So here it is. So if we click, so let's make them different. So let's, in fast finger we wrote numbers, stateful, like this or like this, I think, right? Stateful. So, and here will be numbers, stateless. Okay, so stateful, it works, but in numbers doesn't work. Why? Do you know? So let me just move this out of the way. So we have, in JavaScript this should work, but in React it's not working because exactly we are not rendering, and to render we have to create state, and then state, when it changes, is going to render everything again. Not everything, sorry, the changes. So classically this wasn't possible, but now we have something called hooks, as I said before, and we are going to use it. So first of all, we have to import the hook that we are going to use, that is called use state. In a comma here. Then the way to use them is by doing this. So const, then we are going to do something a bit weird, that is the structure in an array. So the first element is going to be our state, let's call it count, and the second element is going to be the function we are going to use to update the count. So usually it's called set, the name we gave to the property. So set count, and then equals to use state, and then we pass the initial value, that is going to be 0.
Can you say what will be the first value?
Sorry?
First value is
This count.
the count. Yeah, what will be the first value?
So this is the name we are going to give to the state that we want to update.
Okay. And the second.
And the second one is a function that we are going to use to update the first element. So we have to change this as well. So count, no, not like this, we can't update it like that. So we have to use set count. Hello. Set count, and then we need to pass the new value. How do I do it?
Use state.
So what was the value before?
Count.
Count. Okay, so count, and now after clicking it's going to be
Use state. No, count plus 1.
count plus 1. Yes. So just like that. And now, if we check, stateful works, stateless works as well.
I'm used to it.
Yes, and we used hooks. And as you can see, this is much simpler than this. In class, we need to use the constructor, we need to use the this all the time, and then,
And if you forget how to use it,
sorry?
and if you forget that, oh, I have to put the this or something.
Yes, you can forget the this, and or you have to always do this dot state, and then the property you want to update. Here we just write directly the name. It's much easier. So that's why hooks are being more used, and classes are more like a thing of the past. So in many places they are still being used because until a year ago was all there was to have state, but it makes more sense to use hooks. Yes.
Are we right in saying, let's say for instance I had a refactor code.
Refactor.
If I was going to refactor code going forward, and it was using class, is it advisable to change it with hooks in common examples like this? And does it make a difference to performance?
You mean in a real project?
Yeah.
Yes, I think it makes sense to change it, but because it's more readable, it's like you don't have so many ways to make a mistake using hooks. So to me it makes sense. Yeah.
Is it
And
better performance as well?
to what?
Is it better performance?
Performance, I don't know, performance wise. It should be, I don't know, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know. So, we can find out. So, oops, performance versus class React. So, yeah, let's see. Yeah, they are actually more performant. Well, this goes beyond the scope of what we were going to talk about, but
Sorry.
but anyways, no, it's nice to know. So, yeah, these are actually benchmarks. Yeah. I don't know. We can find out afterwards. So, let's leave it here. Do you have any other questions related with what we talked about? So we can, for instance, okay, let's do something else. Imagine I want also to make another button to decrease the count. So you're going to help me to do that. So
Can we delete the state so it's more clear if it's focus on the focus?
okay, yeah, sure, if you want.
Yeah.
So I just delete it,
Yeah.
and here as well. So what do I do now?
Create the button.
A button?
Can we create another event like when we hover or something about, let's say something like on mouse,
If you want, yes.
yeah, on mouse, something,
Mm,
on mouse,
mouse center.
yeah. And then the same sequence. It's
But we need to.
creating
You want to use the same function or a different? Okay. So what? How do I call it? Function?
function, new function,
Huh?
new finger.
No, but make it semantic. What is it going to do?
Okay. Decrease.
So you want to decrease on mouse enter. Decrease count. Yeah, sure. So decrease count. Decrease count. Now
Const.
what now? Sorry.
Const. As well.
No, not const.
No.
Const. We are declaring here these two variables.
We want to take let.
If we do const here, it's not going to update this one. So how did we do on the first one?
Yeah, we're gonna just do set count.
Exactly.
Minus 1.
Set count, count, minus 1, as Dagmara said. So what else? Huh?
And then we need to pass it on mouse enter.
Exactly.
the
Yep.
Function that will. And
Then-
we want to decrease count.
Decrease count,
And then,
like this.
I mean,
Something else?
do we want to call it something? The button? No.
So I don't know, hover me
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
something like that. Okay, let's see. Oh, nice. Look, now I click. No,
So with the hooks, you can always you can set different like to do different things. Like that's in here. Click to
with hooks we can do exactly the same thing as with classes.
But
In this,
class, you would have to create a whole state again, or update. Or you have to update the state,
You-
but with more words, basically.
so yeah, you have to type many more things. You have to type the constructor first when you are creating the class, and then the boilerplate, the super.
Then here you just add a new function that can update.
Then
the previous-
here you, when on each property of the state you want to use, you just add a line and that's it.
Yeah. Great.
And if you don't want to use it, you just delete it. And that's it. Simple. Okay. So, any questions regarding hooks? Regarding the use state hook? I think it's quite
Yeah, it's
straight away. Yeah. Okay, so let's leave it here. I'm going to stop streaming.